Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from Cheryl's Home Cooking. And what I'm going to show you today is I went to a friend's house and she made some peppermint patties, and oh my god, they were so good and so delicious. So I'm going to show you her version, plus I'm going to step it up a bit the way I converted it into my recipe. I'll show you how to make the peppermint patties. So the first thing that you're going to start out with is 2½ cups of the powdered sugar. I'm going to put that in my mixer. 1½ tablespoons of the Karo syrup. What this is the inside of the peppermint patty. I have 1½ tablespoons of water, 1 teaspoon of the vanilla extract, one and a half tablespoons of butter, and the main ingredient is the peppermint extract. That'll be 1 tablespoon. And what I'm going to do to spruce it up for my peppermint patties is I happened to go through the grocery store and I saw this dark chocolate and mint morsels from Nestle's. Seeing as how it's mint with the chocolate, I'm going to melt some of this and then I'll dip my peppermint patties in there and then let it harden. And I'm also going to try with these candy makers, these molds here, and I'm going to melt some chocolate. It's Christmassy, it's the Color Burst Brights. I'll melt some of these, put this in, and then I'll put my peppermint patty on top and see how they come out with these molds. What you want to do now is once all the ingredients are inside your mixer here, you want to mix it well till it forms almost like a dough-like consistency. So now I'll start mixing it. I'll push down the sides to make sure everything gets mixed well. Now that it's formed into a dough-like consistency, I'm going to take it off my mixer here. And I want to form it into a ball. So what I'll do is put some powdered sugar on my counter. And just roll it out. You'll place it in your refrigerator for about 15 minutes so it hardens up a bit, and then once it's hardened, that's when we're going to turn it into peppermint patties. I'll wrap plastic around it and then put it in the fridge for about 15 minutes or until it hardened up a little bit. It's been about 15 minutes and it firmed up nicely. So now what I'm going to do is roll it out on my counter. I'll place some powdered sugar down so it doesn't stick. And you want to take your roller and roll it out. it sticks to the roller, just put some more powdered sugar on. But this really tastes just like the real peppermint patties. You just want to keep flipping it over. I'll get a little bit more powdered sugar. Roll out the peppermint patty dough about 1/4 inch thick. If you'd like, you can use a cookie cutter to cut it out to the desired shape that you'd prefer. I'm using my glass here because I'd like them perfectly a circle. So this is about 1.5 inches. So what I'm going to do is just cut it out. Pick up the peppermint patty, and I have my cookie sheets here lined with parchment paper because you have to put it back in the refrigerator to let it harden again. So I'll continue with these circles. So now I'll peel up my little circles, and you can see how nice they're going to look. I'll place them on my cookie sheet. Now I'll roll up the rest of my dough and roll this out too. This recipe will make close to 2 dozen. Once they're in the refrigerator, you want to give it about 10 minutes on each side. You just want to make sure that it's really firmed up before you dip it into the chocolate. That's actually 2 dozen right there. So it depends on the size and shape that you have is how much it'll make. Add a little bit more powdered sugar, because it's starting to stick. I want to make sure I use every last bit because this is really, really good. Once it's dipped into the chocolate, I might be able to get one more. Last one. Just keep an eye on it. You just want to make sure that the dough is firmed up on each side before you dip it into the chocolate. It's been about 20 minutes now, and see how nice they firmed up? So this is the peppermint that's going to be inside the melted chocolate. That's why you wanted this nice and firm. On my stove I have some water boiling because I'm going to melt down my candied chocolate. If you have a double boiler, that'd be great. But I'm going to show you the candy way and then the mint morsels. This will just take a few minutes melting down. Just keep stirring the candies here so that they don't burn. I have a cup of the candies in here because I'm showing you both ways, so I only wanted to show a little sample of the candies. If you'd prefer, you can also put this in a microwave. Just keep an eye on it. Now that my candies have melted, I'm going to take both pans, put them on my cutting board. I want to keep my candies in the water so that this way here it stays melted for me. I'm going to take my candy mold, fill up the bottom, and then I'll spread it. Then I'll take my peppermint patty dough, press it down, put more of the candy on top, take my knife and then spread it out. This is one way I wanted to show you on using a candy mold. You'll see it comes up the sides, which is good. And this 1 cup of melted candy made 6 peppermint patties. And you'll see how that looks. Now I'll place this in my fridge for about 10 minutes for it to harden. Now that I'm going to show you the way that my friend also made her peppermint patties with the melted morsels. But I picked up the mint morsels. So I have 16-ounce package of the mint Hershey morsels, and I'll place that in my boiling water on my stove for like a double boiler. Or if you prefer, you can put it in your microwave. So now I'll let this melt, and to these mints I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of shortening. The reason why I'm using the shortening is because the shortening breaks down the milk chocolate in here so it's not so thick. So it doesn't take long to melt the morsels. And I like using the mint ones. I figured that would be festive along with the peppermint patty, mint flavored. Make sure it's thoroughly melted. Keep stirring too because you don't want to burn your chocolate. And it's all melted. I'm going to take both pans, leave them on my cutting board because I want to make sure that the chocolate stays melted. I also have a cookie sheet which I have lined with parchment paper. Now I'll place one of my patties into the chocolate. Smooth out the top. And I'll keep repeating the process. Take your spoon, just coat the top of it. take it off with the fork and put it on the parchment paper. Place these peppermint patties in the refrigerator till they harden. Once they harden, then I'll take them out and we'll taste them. It's been about a half hour that I had my candied peppermint patties in the refrigerator, so I'm going to take them out, and what I'm going to do is I cut some tin foil so that this way here I can kind of wrap it up and give it away as a gift. Or if you prefer, just put it on your plate and serve it to your company, or if you want to eat it that way. It's very, very good. I have a piece of parchment paper, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip over my mold and see how they pop right out. And see how nice and pretty that looks? And then the peppermint patties right in the middle. So what I'll do is I'll take my paper that I have here, and it looks just like a peppermint patty. And then I'll place it on my plate. I'm gonna go check on my chocolate ones now. It's been a half hour for my chocolate ones now, and now I'll show you how I do my chocolate ones. It peels right off of the parchment paper, and I have the little foil wraps. And there's your little peppermint patty that you can give away. So I'll continue doing that to the rest of my peppermint patties. And the chocolate melted up really good on here. So what I did is I'm going to save a chocolate one for me, and I also have the white one with the candies on it. I'm going to try it, and I'll show you the inside. And see the center? It's nice and minty. It really tastes good with this candy on it. Now I'm going to try it with the mint morsels, and I'll show you the center of this one as well. Just like a peppermint patty. I mean, it's really, really, really good, and it doesn't even melt in your hands. It's nice around the holidays to have something special that you made and that you're giving as a gift. So I highly recommend trying to make this peppermint patty. It really tastes just like the real thing. And thanks so much for watching me make my homemade peppermint patties. And have a Merry, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Bye-bye.